Hey, what's up? I just got done watching Friday the 13th Part 2, which takes place 5 years after Part 1. And it got me thinking about the timeline, which I kind of talked about in my 9-part review of the From Crystal Lake to Manhattan box set. But I didn't really go through like the entire timeline because I haven't reviewed all the movies yet. I haven't reviewed Jason Goes to Hell and the sequels after that, or sequel, if you don't count Freddy vs. Jason. But yeah, it got me thinking about the timeline, and I wanted to see if I can make sense of this because a lot of these movies kind of jump, a lot of years ahead of each other with each sequel, and if you compare it to like real time, like our real life time, it doesn't really, it doesn't quite make sense, or at least it's not. I mean, you gotta suspend disbelief because if you follow the timeline exactly, some of the later sequels take place way into the future, even though they were made like in the late 80s and early 90s, and supposedly in our present day, even though they take place years after their predecessors. Like, okay, for example, this takes place in 1980. No, wait, this takes place in 1980, and this is 5 years later, so that'll be 1985. Uh, Friday the 13th, 1985, which was made in 1981. So, part 3 takes place a day after part 2. I guess the next day, so it's like Saturday the 14th. And then part 4, I'm guessing since like Jason, he gets the axe in his head and he gets taken to the morgue the following night. Oh, wait. It's Sunday the 15th, the day that all the paramedics get there, and the last girl who just killed Jason, the axe in his head. It's like the next day after that night where she was fighting with Jason. So that's Sunday the 15th, 1985, and then in part 4, it's that same day, but the night, like the night after that day. So it's still Sunday night, the 15th. And then they take him to the morgue. He's not dead. He gets up, breaks out of the morgue. So I'm gonna assume the after that scene, after that opening scene in the morgue, I'm guessing it takes place the next day, or possibly a week, or maybe a couple months at the most later, because I don't know how long it takes Jason to make his way back to Crystal Lake, or at least that area. So I'm gonna say it's 1985. Fuck whatever day it is. Doesn't matter at this point. But yeah, the year is probably 1985. And Tommy Jarvis, he's like the central, one of the, I guess the central character in it, and he's probably, I'm gonna say 10 years old. So he kills Jason at the end. He's 10 years old. I don't know, maybe between 8 and 12 years old. I don't know, whatever. So part 5, the new beginning, or a new beginning, takes place. He looks like he's about 17 or 18 in that one, because I mean he's still a ward of the state, so he's not. I don't know. He can't be 18 yet. He has to still be a minor if he's a ward of the state. So let's say he's 17. Takes place 7 years after part 4. So that would make it, okay, 1985 plus 7, 1992. So part 5 would take place in 1992, and part 6, he looks about 10 years older than he did in part 5. So probably mid-20s, late 20s at the most. So I'm gonna say it's 10 years later after part 5. So that's 2002. So yeah, part 6 is 2002, and then part 7, Tommy is like he's out of the picture. And the new character is that girl with telekinesis played by Lara Parker Lincoln. So she looks about maybe 17, I'll say, because she's kind of a ward of the state, I guess. I mean, at least she's got that therapist, and she's under his care. The asshole therapist played by Terry Kaiser. And I don't know. There's a flashback of her father's death where he falls into the lake, or she does some kind of telekinesis thing where it makes him fall in the lake. And it looks like by that time, a lot of time has passed since Tommy Jarvis sunk Jason down into the lake. So even when she's a kid, it's like I don't know how long after Part 6 that was. So if I were to wager a guess, I would say, let me see, I don't know, let's say the family moved in there about a year or two after Tommy Jarvis sunk Jason in the lake. So that'll be 2002, 3, 4, 5. Fuck, let's say it's 2008 or something. And then, wait, oh, okay, how old did the girl look in the flashback? She looked like she was about 6 or 7, maybe 8. So, okay, she's 8 years old. Okay, fuck it. Let's say another 10 years after Tommy Jarvis kills Jason. So, that would be 2012. And, if anyone, disagrees or has a different idea, write a comment or something, add your own thoughts. But I'm going to say 10 years later. So, that would be 2012. And you add like maybe 10 years because Lara Parker Lincoln is maybe 10 years older than her character in the flashback, so that would be 2022 if she's maybe 17, if she was 7 in the flashback. So yeah, 2022, and then she kills him, and then let's say in Part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan, that would be how much time would you say has passed since those two? Because the place was kind of fixed up. It had a new. Because you remember Lara Parker Lincoln, she kind of like destroyed the house, while she was fighting Jason. So in Part 8, you see that same lake. Even though there's a boat there, you see that same lake, and there's a new house there. So I'm guessing some time has passed for them to rebuild the place and kind of fix it up a little bit. So I'm going to say 5 years later. So 2022 plus 2027. I'll say Part 8 starts in 2027 or takes place in 2027. And then let me see. Jason Goes to Hell. However long it took him to make his way back to Crystal Lake from Manhattan, let's say it took him a year at the most. So that'd be 2028, and then okay, so then Jason X takes place 500 years after that. So that's let me see. See, I suck at math, so don't laugh, or go ahead and laugh if you want. Okay, 2028 plus 500, that would be, okay, 2028, sorry, bear with me, 3028, no wait, yeah. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say 3028, 3128, 3228, 3328, 3428, 500. You know what? I fucked up. I knew I'd fuck up. You guys probably laughing your ass off. 2028, 2128, 2228, 2328, 2428, 2528, not 3428. So I don't know how the hell I jumped to 30, but so yeah, it's probably 25, the year 2528 that Jason X takes place. But Freddy versus Jason, that's somewhere between. Uh, yeah, I think that's somewhere between Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X. So again, help me out.